Hello again. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Clara, and I want to talk to you about two of my greatest frustrations these days. Variegated plants that did not understand the assignment. I wonder who remembers this. Look at her. She's so excited, so young, so naive. This was a variegated plant haul I did for you back in 2024. Let's take a look. Philodendron gloriosum variegated. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Now, I will say, I hope it continues to give me high variegation like this, but I also hope that in future leaves, it's better split between the two halves, because this does scare me a little bit. I found this one and it is quite young compared to the one that I did have, but I really like the balance of this. So today we're talking about that variegated Philodendron gloriosum and the variegated Philodendron golden dragon. These plants have not cooperated, and I've tried to just stay optimistic. I've, done everything that I can, hoping to be able to come to you with an update video with exceptional looking plants. And as you can see, there's a lot of green on the screen right now. So let me just take you through the tour of what's been going on lately. We'll start with gloriosum, since that's who I have right here. When I hauled this plant, it had that beautiful half moon leaf, if I remember correctly, and it was working on a new leaf. The new leaf it gave me was this. Very pretty. We love that it has variegation, and a little bit, or quite a lot of it, safer than that half moon leaf. In case you're curious about what happened to the half moon, I don't know, what was it? Just summer heat, I guess, temperatures back when everything was still out on the screened-in porch. And the white part just melted away. It turned into tissue paper, and I lost the leaf, or at least I lost half of it. But we still had this one, and we were hanging on. And after this leaf, it gave me this one, solid green. And again, hopeful, optimistic, that's okay. Maybe the variegation is just on one side of the stem, with the last leaf being a half moon, and then it gave me one with a little variegation. So yeah, maybe it's okay that this one is all green. I'm sure the next one will be a stunner, right? Here she is. Here's the stunner. And don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful gloriosum leaf. Not what I paid $500 for. Did I ever mention the price in my haul? I think I told you it was the most expensive plant of the haul. I paid $500 for the variegated gloriosum mother plant, only for it to give me a low variegated leaf and two all green leaves next. But if you'll recall, by the time I had filmed the haul video, I had taken some sneaky little cuttings of this plant. Because it had such a long, woody section of stem with no leaves, when it came to me, I just lopped off the top and kept that, and I was able to take 4 single node propagations. And it was a really exciting project for a while, and I believe I think the last you heard from me about those propagations, they all had an activated growth point, and I was taking the lids off, and I was so excited because it looked like 4 out of 4, the cataphyll, or the little growth point section, looked striped. It had green and white on, I think, 4 out of 4, and I was over the moon. The reason you haven't heard about those in 6 months is because it didn't quite turn out the way I thought it would, based on what I saw from those little cataphyls. And since then, I've kind of learned, or maybe I kind of noticed, that that's kind of what the growth point looks like on any gloriosum. It's got like a little white area and a green area. It was not determinate of any variegation on those leaves. I will tell you what happened. So out of 4 node cuttings, all 4 took off great. I'll refer to my past self over on an Instagram reel as I revealed to you for the very first time what was happening with those. So the first one, first leaf, gave me no variegation, 0%. The second one was 100% white, so not what we're going for either. The third one that opened up was another 100% green. And if I recall correctly, the last one that opened up was this guy right here. And it had just a sliver of variegation, just enough to give me a glimmer of hope. Well, I kept growing out those 4. The one that gave me an all white leaf gave me a second all white leaf. There was no sign of green anywhere on the plant, so she went to the trash. And one of them that gave me an all green leaf continued to give all green leaves, so I gifted that to a friend. But the plant that gave me 1 variegated leaf did give me another variegated leaf. This was the next one to open up. One of the node cuttings that had its first leaf, all green, grew a second leaf with a little bit of color. And so by this point, guys, I was feeling hopeful. I had these 2 leaves, and even though my mother plant had started giving me green, I was pretty hopeful that things were looking up. I was hoping that we were trending in a direction for more and more color. I'll show you now the newest leaves on both of these plants. They're all green. So on this one here, this is the one that did give me color with its very first leaf. We've actually got a lot happening here because the node grew a new plant, and then that activated a node. And I know that doesn't really make sense, but we had like a secondary growth point down here activate. So there's a lot of leaves going on, but I'll take you in chronological order. We had this one with some color, and then we had this one with more color, and then we had this one with no color, and just last week, this one with no color. The second growth point that activated had, you can't really see it, it's very microscopic, but it had a little bit of color. And this is the second leaf off of that growth point. And I've already done the little, you're not really supposed to force a leaf open. I haven't forced it, but I have peeked, okay? I have peeked, all green. All green. So the most recent 3 leaves on this propagation, all green. All green. And I'm like, okay, this one really led me on. So I'm trying to make a decision here. I could sell it as is with 2 variegated leaves and say, here's your chance. You could cut it back and you might get variegation. And I could sell it, and I think I could make a little bit of my cost back. But then I'm like, well, why don't I try that? And now I'm really stuck. Because if I sell it now, while it still has a chance that cutting back the all green section will activate a lower variegated growth point, I could still make some money. If I keep it and do it myself, and it just gives me green all over again, I've lost my chance to make any money back. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about this. I'm not sure. This one, I'm not quite giving up on yet because of my same theory that sometimes in philodendron, the variegation could only be on 1/2 of the stem. So if we had no variegation, and then a little variegation, and then no variegation, there's a chance, like I'm telling myself that there's a chance next leaf might have a little bit. So we're gonna wait for the next leaf and then decide what to do with this one. But I'll be in the exact same boat. Do I sell it now and let my buyer have their fun and take their shot? Or do I take the shot myself? Do I try it myself? But don't worry, because I'm not done with this plant. As the mother plant kept giving me green, and I mentioned that that half moon leaf died off, or I cut it off or something, that gave me, once again, more nodes to work with, nodes from the back. I think I was only able to take 2, and I'll show them to you now. Just I would say moderate your expectations here based on what you've seen so far, okay? Moderate your expectations, but I'll show you our current status, okay? Exactly what's going on right now, I'm about to show you. So out of my second round of cuttings from the same mother plant, this was a leaf with no variegation. And I know you're seeing this section. That's actually not variegation. It is an area that I think maybe some nutrient or something really highly concentrated was spilt on this leaf, because that white area is actually, it's the top layer of the leaf tissue, and I can just peel it right off. So absolutely zero variegation on this leaf, zero, but I cut it anyways because we are like, if I'm gonna spend that much money on a plant and it's gonna give me all green from the top, I am going to utilize every single node from the bottom just to see what happens. And I'm not able to tell you now what's gonna happen from this because we're in the exact same position as we were when I updated you about the first round of node cuttings. We've got an active growth point. It's got its little cataphyll. It even has indication of a white area and a green area, but now I know that that's actually just normal. That's not indicative of variegation. But at least within a week or 2, I'll know if this will produce a leaf that has any variegation. The other node cutting from our second batch has just started to open up this week. Just started. And at first glance, you can tell that this half is all green. And then you notice that, well, this looks awfully white for the back of an all green leaf. So then we do this little number, this little, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't break it. This one's a half moon. This one's got half green and half white. Look at it again. We're being gentle. I told you, you are getting things as they are today. I'm not saving this video for when everything is open and revealed. This is literally what I'm living in right now, right? Okay, so we're happy with this, but wondering, does that mean the next leaf will either be all green or all white? Because that's what happens. That's what happens after half moons. I'm happy that the variegation percentage is like at 50%. I would have loved if the 50% could have been split, 25 on one side and 25 on the other, but this plant is just not cooperating. Variegated gloriosum has been a pain in such an unexpected way. And I just thought, you know, let me tell you what's going on here, because it's not like variegated gloriosum is unattainable anymore. It's just that, you know, they still are expensive. So I would expect that the majority of my viewers, you might want to have one, but you probably don't have the type 1 just because, you know, not everybody has one yet. And there's like no information out there on what to expect when propagating a variegated gloriosum, how that variegation passes down to cuttings, not the same way that Monstera alba was. Like, you guys remember 5 years ago, It was 2020. We were paying $300 for a node cutting of Monstera albo small form, but at least there was information out there. At least you could kind of go off of stem striping. At least you could tell by looking at a fresh cut if that growth point had a good chance or not. And at least it wouldn't, you know, like with Monstera albo, if you were to take a cutting and the first leaf of that cutting was green and you saw no white anywhere on the petiole or anything, you knew that cutting would never give variegation. Variegated gloriosum is different. Like, again, let me remind you, this thing gave me 2 solid green leaves, 1 solid green, 1 solid green. And you know, you can look at these petioles, there's no striping on the petiole. You can't really tell when the cutting is this juvenile. You can't really see the stem because the internodal spacing is too small. I could have chucked this and then it gave me this. So variegated gloriosum is a mystery to me, and I'm just trying to keep you up to speed, like on what is going on. So this guy, I wasn't liking my chances, okay? I wasn't liking my chances, and I decided, screw this plant. Sucks that I've lost my investment, but I need to find another variegated gloriosum because that's just how I am, I guess. I guess I'm just impatient, and I would rather just throw money at a problem and just buy a new plant. Maybe I shouldn't have, but somebody local had a variegated gloriosum for sale. I mean local, I mean like 20 minutes from me. And I was kind of shocked because, again, like I just said, not everybody has the type 1, okay? The tissue culture versions, they're going around, they're easy to access, they're stable, people are propping and chopping and selling, and so am I with my type 2. Type 1, kind of hard to find, and if somebody has a good one, they're not letting it go. So I was shocked that 20 minutes away, somebody was selling their gloriosum type 1. And I'm telling you guys, I took a hard, long look at those photos because of what I'd just gone through, right? I kind of got catfished. I didn't get catfished, but I did. I took a long and hard look at her photos. Here's how her plant looked. First leaf on the plant, half moon. Second leaf on the plant, something kind of like this. 2 newest leaves on the plant, all green. And she was posting it for sale at a very high price. And I was honest with her. And I said, I kind of want this just so I can chop it up, because I have the same plant as you and it's done the exact same thing as yours. Mine has turned all green. Mine has reverted. Yours has reverted too. I'm sorry. I can't pay that much for it. But if you really want to get rid of it, I will offer you this. I'll take it off your hands. I'm going to cut it up because I know the newest leaf is going to be all green. And it was. So she accepted my offer, and I brought home my second variegated gloriosum. I don't have photos. I don't have footage because I wasn't feeling cute about it. I was like on mission. I was like, get it home, cut it up, start this clock, because in 4 weeks, I want to see what I'm going to get. So I'll let you know how all of those cuttings are doing too, just so that you've got the full picture of gloriosum. And then I got to get into golden dragon variegated. Okay, let me get the things. Okay, there's so much gloriosum on this table right now. It's like all gloriosum. I have 2 mother plants now though, that's the thing. And each mother plant has slightly different genes, and I'm hoping will behave in a slightly different way. All I have of mother plant B, the more recent one I purchased, is node cuttings with active growth, but for the sake of this video, you're about to see everything. So let me show you, I'm gonna try to go in order of how her plant grew, just so that we've got like the full context. This was the oldest leaf on her plant, beautiful, right? Half moon plus a little extra. And I've cut it, and I cut it as soon as I got home that day. And it's definitely got an active growth point. I just can't tell, you know, by looking at the stem striping, because again, this was an older section of the plant, so it's kind of like really woody. Like look right here, this is all brown instead of being green or white. So I can't really tell, and I'm not really sure what to expect, but I would say that out of mother plant B, I have the highest hopes for this cutting because this leaf had the highest color. I believe next on her mother plant, on my mother plant B, it grew this leaf. Mostly all green, small section of white. I've cut it and we've got an active growth point. And in this scenario, we can actually see quite a bit of striping. We've got like a thick stripe right here, but then I'm not exactly sure if there's anything that goes directly along the growth point in the same way you would look for that with Monstera albo. But again, I don't really know if that has any bearing on this. But I'm thinking that with it at least having a nice visible chunk of variegation on that stem, I'm hopeful that that bears good news for this growth point. And it's weird, like I wish there were, it's not as mathematical as Monstera albo small form. Like you can take a stem and you can look at that stem, or you can look at that auxiliary bud, and you know what you're going to get. And that is not the case with gloriosum. It is very, very bizarre. It's almost like the variegation is within. You may or may not see it on the stem. You may or may not see it on the growth point. You may or may not see it on the petiole. On this petiole is solid green all the way around, but it does have a section of white. On this petiole, it actually is half green and half white, but you can't really see anything on the stem. So do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn this. I'm trying to figure this out because my desire to have a nice, stable looking, well-balanced, variegated gloriosum, I want it badly enough that I've spent the money. Like I've put in the money. I mean, I guess I haven't really. I could have just put in a whole lot of money right at the beginning for like a really, really nice specimen, but that's not me. That's not me. I can't justify like a certain threshold. I'm out. I can't do it. So moving forward, her plant then gave an all green leaf. We've cut it. We have active growth down here. But again, in this situation, can't really tell. Not really sure if there's color. I can't really see any striping. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And then here is the top cut. This was the second green leaf in a row. This was still all rolled up when I brought it home. This was about 2 weeks ago. I made a cut, even though I knew it could sacrifice this leaf, but I was pretty sure that this leaf would turn out all green anyways. And it was more important to me, like I said, to start the clock on these stem cuttings. But it kind of got stuck, this leaf, I think due to me cutting it, which is fine. But I have manually opened it up today and it is all green. You can see that there, of course, it does look cool right now. It's got that gradient effect because half of it has been rolled up for so long. But this is a solid green leaf and there's no variegation on it. So I was correct in predicting to her that her plant was reverting. And that helps me feel better for like giving her a pretty low offer and telling her the facts, like that next leaf is probably gonna be all green and then your plant is worth what you can find it for at Home Depot, you know, aside from those nodes. And those nodes were really what I paid for. When I picked up this plant, when I bought this from her, and it was a couple hundred that I spent. I wanna say I offered her 200. I was really paying for the nodes that you've seen now. And so this is the top cut. We've got a growth point here that I don't know, I might shoot for later. We'll see. We've got this caterpillar here that looks all green, but oddly enough, because the previous all green leaf I showed you came right before this section and there was no green on the stem. Like I'm looking at this and I'm having a double take. Section with no white at all green, but then this top area, as soon as, I mean, you can tell, here's the previous node, all green, no white. As soon as you get to the next node, giant chunk of white. I don't get this. I don't understand. And despite the giant chunk of white that's like right here, and here's new leaf is all green. So I don't know. I think that we're gonna let this top continue doing its thing. It will probably continue giving me green, 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 green. Then I'll cut it again and I'll try my luck with this growth point on this node that has a little chunk of white. And then lastly, and I'm saving it for last only because I don't remember where it was on the plant, I've got a leafless cutting. This was probably the oldest node is what I would guess, because it had like no leaves, no roots. Did it have roots? No. No leaves and no roots, but it did have a growth point. And if anything, here's a testament to how strong gloriosum is in general. We got one node. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's working on its stuff. It's pushing out a little root and a little growth point. So she just lives in a little spaceship. Cup and lid. So I don't know, guys. If you've made it to this point in the video, say something. Commiserate with me. Why is philodendron, gloriosum, variegated such a puzzle? And I would be lying if I said I was enjoying the challenge. I am not. I'm ready for my payout. Like, I've paid hundreds of dollars for variegated gloriosum and I don't have one yet. I just have all of these pieces and all of these potentials. I think based on what I'm looking at in front of me now, this one here is the best looking one with that little half moon first new leaf. I don't know. And I wish I were here with you today with like positivity and I love plants and isn't this hobby so rewarding? And maybe I could have waited. Maybe I could have waited and not even filmed this video until I felt that way, until, you know, these cuttings had some more time and until things had a little bit of a better outlook. But nah, you're getting the honesty today. You're getting raw because this is not what I signed up for. And if that's not bad enough, let's talk about the variegated golden dragon. So let me recap for anybody who's new. I've been trying to get my hands on variegated golden dragon for like 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. I imported 2 from Indonesia in the same month from 2 different sellers back in, I want to say it was 2023, but it really could have been 2022. I imported 2. I told myself I don't need 2. I will keep whichever one I like best and I'll sell the other one. That's exactly what I did. Boy, could I get into how much I regret selling the one that I sold because I think the one I ended up getting rid of was probably the better of the 2. I kept this one, and if I can find pictures, I'll show you. I don't know if I can find pictures. All I remember is, although the leaves it came with had pretty good potential, it gave me what? All green shortly after, and it did consistently all green. I think it was like a half moon, full moon, all green scenario. And I know for certain I showed that plant in all its glory in one of the parts of my 2024 plant tour. And if I can find that part, I will put it in a box up here so that you can get the full picture of the plant. And my memory, honestly, like I've got the pregnancy brain right now, and this was a while ago. I don't remember with certainty, but I know that that plant was frustrating me. It was like giving me too many all green leaves, and then I cut it, and then it gave me too many all white leaves or something, and I sold it because I was tired of the fight. And I decided I'm gonna invest my money in something that seems like it's got a better distribution of variegation kind of across the board. I don't want any half moons. I want to find and wait and save and buy a golden dragon variegated that's got a good balance of green and white. And I was specifically looking for the 3 shades, dark green, light green, and white. And so I found that. And that is what I hauled for you in the same video where I hauled my gloriosum variegated. If I'm holding it weird, it's to try to just conceal what's been happening. But here's what it looked like when I got it. It was really promising. I thought to myself, it doesn't have any full moons, but it's got really high color and it's got great patterning. Like we've got those light green sections like on this leaf right here. And what did it grow for me right off the bat? I think first leaf in my care, solid green. Why? Why does it do this? Second leaf in my care, solid green. And I'm like, because it's been years. With the gloriosum, guys, it's only been like 6 or so months since I first acquired variegated gloriosum. With Golden Dragon, it's been since like 2022 or 2023, and I've just been trying to have a nice specimen. So I chopped it off. I chopped off the top, and you can see here that this plant has been cut right here. And I chopped off the top because I took a look at the lower growth points, and I thought I've got way better chances of these growth points doing something nice than these all green leaves that it's giving me. So I chopped off the top and it gave me an all green leaf, right? And another all green leaf. And it's working on one more. And because I'm so mad, I kind of want to like violate it right now and just see if I can, because I'm telling you, there's no white on the stem. It doesn't look like there's any white anywhere. Like if I hold up this leaf, sometimes you can tell. And in this situation, I'm pretty sure I can tell that this one's going to be all green. Are you kidding me? Like, let me again show you the plant I bought. The plant I bought. Why wouldn't this do amazing things? And instead, it's been doing this. This is not worth the money. It does have a lower growth point activated, 2 growth points activated when I did that chop, when I chopped off the top. This one has stalled since the other one took off. If this leaf opens up next week and it's all green, we're chopping it off again. And then I'm confident that this one will continue to mature from lower down on the plant, and we'll see. And then, because I was frustrated, because I was mad, and because somebody local was selling a single leaf cutting of variegated philodendron, and it looked really good, guys. It looked really good. It was, do I have the original leaf? No, I don't have the original leaf. I'll put it up on the screen. Because when you look at that leaf, you think, that's really nice and balanced. And it was local. And I was like, single node, I'll increase my chances by like 10%. Let's get it. And it gave me an all green leaf. Let me find it. I'm trying to conceal like the story, but oh, you can already see. There's no way to conceal this story. It gave me all green, and then it gave me this. Pretty, right? And then 2 all green. Why? Everything on this table and everything I've shown you is like a story of, I bought this plant, it had great variegation, and as soon as it entered my care, green, 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 I don't know what to do. I don't know, guys. I mean, yeah, it's a vast hobby. There's a lot of things behind me, and there are some other really exciting things happening in my collection right now, and it's great. But then there's these, and these are making me like so frustrated. So I'll show you the stem in case anybody wants to see it. Actually, I take it back. I don't know if I can really show you the stem because we've kind of got like a lot of moss here. I'll do my best, okay? I'll do my best. I'm gonna hold it up really close, and then in editing, I will zoom in further. Oh no, I just broke off a growth point. I just broke off a growth point. Why? I'm not making this up. I'm not acting. I was trying to brush away some moss so I could show you this growth point that had activated on its own. And I just broke it. I just broke, like literally. Hey, cars should not be falling down. I'm gonna be done with this video. I'm gonna be done. This video was about disappointment, and this video has not disappointed. Here's the stem. Basically what we have is, this is the petiole of the one leaf out of 4 that has any white. And if you follow that all the way down, you've got 2 growth points that are kind of right there in the middle between all white and all green. They're kind of right at the 50-50 mark. One of them hasn't woken up. The other one did, and I just broke it off. Thanks for watching. The most disappointing video I think I've ever made. Start to finish, we're mad. Tell me what you think in the comments. Should I burn them all with fire? If I'm right, this video will make you feel better, because either you are not experiencing something this frustrating, and so you feel better about your collection and what's going on with you, or you are experiencing something this frustrating and you feel like you're not alone, because you're not. So hopefully takeaway is we're all feeling better except for me. And if you liked this video, please give it a like. Let me know in the comments if you're experiencing something as frustrating as this, because I really want to know what it is. I think it'll help me. And I will just have to see you guys in the next video. Don't expect to hear about these plants. Don't expect to hear any updates, because I might be done. I might be done, or I might come back in a year from now and say, hey, remember that? So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good one. See ya.